Between Atlantic City, New Jersey and Ithaca, New York, there's about 300 miles of open road. Just enough road to know that I'm going to have to grab gas at some point. But come on, gas can wait. Gas is not on my mind right now. You know what is on my mind? The beautiful scenery on New York State Highway 17. I mean, come on, look at this place. And if you're an expert in foreshadowing, you have probably concluded that this idiot is gonna forget to grab gas. And to that I say, yeah, you're right. By the time I looked down at my gas gauge, I was at 25 miles to empty. Look, I'm not proud of it. You know how most cars will notify you with that nice little chime sound when you're low on gas? Yeah, that's real nice, isn't it? Well, if you like it, don't buy a Honda. 70 miles. One gas station in 70 frickin' miles, and it was coming up in 3. So I pulled over, got off the highway, and stumbled across a diamond in the rough. Oh, what's so great about a stupid abandoned old town, Zach? Well, I'm really glad you asked, person that sounds exactly like me. This town is abandoned, and it's in the middle of the Catskill Mountains. And if you don't know what the Catskill Mountains are, you probably are normal because they reached their popularity peak when our parents' parents were little kids. And look, I get it. I was not born anywhere near this period of time, but it does not mean that I cannot have my own favorite aspects about the Catskill resorts. Games literally everywhere. Kids, you bet. Look around you, dude. Mid-century modern design and architecture, abso-frickin-lutely, dude. How about you throw in a sight of the biggest dang hotel lobbies you've ever seen? It's all here in the Catskills. Tell them, 70s lady.
It's all here in the Catskills, and it's all waiting to be enjoyed against a backdrop of spectacular scenery and fresh mountain air. The Catskills are waiting for you.
You can travel the whole world over. It's beauty to explore. The Sullivan County Catskills will make you love New York. With all the treasures and the pleasures any wonderland can offer. It's a little bit like heaven, only closer. A little bit like heaven.
The Sullivan County Catskills, where the world's great resort hotels bid you a warm welcome.
Only closer.
So, without further ado, it's time to actually give Parksville its time in the limelight. Together, we'll explore a diner that looks like the cook just stepped out for a smoke break. An upstairs apartment that looks like someone literally came in and hit the pause button. And a town at its absolute peak before silence slowly moved in. This one's got some length on it, so go grab some snacks. I'll wait for you. Nah, but for real though, get your parents' permission before going online. This is Parksville, New York. This place has actually been here for quite some time, since the early 1800s. A couple guys from Connecticut, Linwell, Martin, Eberhall, they roll up, look around and think, yeah, let's go ahead and live here. As one does with that power, Martin tried to name the town after himself, Martinsville. Real subtle, bro. But then like a superhero in the night, William Parks shows up and says, I'm gonna do something to this town, something good. He built mills and made the place a heck of a lot better than he found it. And so the townspeople kind of rolled over on their backs and said, you know what, we like this guy, we're gonna name the town after him. If what happens next was a news headline, it'd read something like this: Martinsville becomes Parksville. Now I know what you're thinking, this Parks guy sounds really cool, but don't get too attached to him. He's gonna leave, but eventually he'll find his way back to the town when he's around 80, and unfortunately it's under less than ideal circumstances as he was gravely ill and requested to be buried behind that very church. The Ontario and Western Railway would eventually roll in the late 1800s, and suddenly, Parksville would go from this sleepy swamp to a hot spot. People started flocking to this place for fresh air, trout fishing, and honestly, the lack of the city noise, which I cannot blame them coming from NYC. And at one point, this place had more than 100 hotels. The Grand Hotel, Paramount, Klein's Hillside, Breezy Hill, Young's Gap. Those are some of the crown jewels of the hotels that lied within Parksville at their prime. So Parksville wasn't just a place you pass on the way to get to somewhere. It was the somewhere. But like a lot of good stories, this one would too take a turn at some point. By the late 50s, the trains would stop running. The Ontario and Western Railway shut down. And when the trains disappeared, so did the easiest way to access this town. And then air conditioning would show up, and suddenly folks didn't need the mountains to cool off. They could just stay in the comfort of their own home.
See how simple. This young lady is responsible for the weather in her home. It's as easy as child's play.
Then in 2011, the bypass would happen. Route 17 used to run right through town. It's not exactly a silver lining, but that stoplight was actually the only stoplight on the entirety of Route 17, and it went through Parksville. That's pretty cool. It's one of my lifetime goals to drive down old Route 66, but for the time being, there are some really cool parallels between Route 66 and Parksville. You see, when these bypasses were created, so many main streets across America would feel the effects of it, and as a result, so many small businesses would have to close their doors forever. Just like this diner that I've been waiting on my coffee from since like 2007, bro. Come on, 1 star. The I-86 Diner. Such good no, I'm just kidding. I've never been here before. But from the outside, this place was pretty convincing from a distance that it might still be open, and I'd be lying if I said that I did not fall for that myself. But inside, the booths are still set. A lot of them even have salt shakers and ketchup bottles still on the table. Menus still on the counter. Can I get a Royale with cheese? And apparently pieces of furniture with electronics built into them. Now listen, in no world am I a thief, but if I didn't drive a Honda Civic, there's a chance this bad boy might be coming home with me. Places like this don't just disappear overnight, and yet that's exactly the vibe I got with this diner. And truthfully, I thought that vibe would be exclusive to the diner, but not even a block down the road, I found some place that was even harder to shake that feeling from. So here we have a pharmacy, Litwin's Pharmacy, closed down in the 1970s and still looks like someone's coming back to open up. I'm not so sure about that. But I am sure that these shelves are full. It's all just perfectly still. But if you go upstairs, there seems to be an apartment. But whose apartment? Perhaps the owner of Litwin's Pharmacy himself? There's a dresser with an open suitcase, clothes still folded, but what's this next to it? A scrapbook. A couple on their honeymoon. It's becoming obvious to me that these belongings don't just indicate a sense of forgetfulness, but rather a sense of intentionality, almost as if the couple truly did plan on returning to this place someday. And you know, I really have to wonder why they never did. Because the more I learn about Parksville and its simple way of living, the more I get thinking about how a lot of us were just thrusted into the world of technology and kind of forgot what it means to connect with your neighbor. And that really begs the question, will someplace like the Catskills ever exist again? A place that was truly centered around the idea of connecting with the people that you love and cherish the most. But perhaps you don't get to do that during your monotonous everyday life that's filled with frivolous little details that you have to attend to before you can sit down and genuinely connect with your neighbor. That's what's really missing in today's world. And I think that's what a lot of us could use, is an excuse to untether. And while the Catskills might have given us that temporary opportunity to truly unplug and just be with the people that mean the most to you, this was just the everyday reality, a standard even, for the residents of Parksville.